Hey downers, what's up? Welcome back to the least comfortable show on the web. It is The System is Down, the place where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics, things like conspiracies, politics, religion, all the things that trigger you, all the things that go bump in the night, all the things your family wishes and prays that you don't bring up around the Thanksgiving dinner table. And no intro. I'm not editing this shit. I'll slap the audio onto the video, but I'm not gonna probably do all that stuff unless I do with the video intro jingle stuff.
I'll make questionable decisions. I'll be in fight of my soul. Judge me for my sins. If I'm your image.
I am on the road. I don't know if this video looks good or if this audio sounds good, but we're gonna find out together and see what happens. So I'm driving. I have a lapel mic on. Normally when I drive, I use the regular mic with the thing that plugs into the bottom of it, so it all sounds studio quality-ish, aside from the road noise. I'm using the lapel because I'm going to be reading your stupid questions, and I feel like holding a phone for directions, holding a phone, switching back and forth, also reading your questions, and holding a mic might not be the best and safest choices in life. So hopefully this sounds good enough. I probably shouldn't even say this, but I'm probably gonna do 2 of these because I do want to talk about some news also. There's a lot of things going on in the world that I wanted to talk about this week, but here we are. So if this sounds, if I get to my hotel and this sounds bad, maybe on the way back or while at the hotel, I will record the news on my better microphone. But anyway, who cares? Hopefully there's not too much road noise for this to be listen-to-able. Hopefully there's not too much wind. I've got the AC barely even on, so that should be fine, but dunno. We shall see. So I am on my way to this festival called Shutterfest, which is this big, supposed to be annual festival conference dealio for camera people. I went 2 years ago for the first time. A photographer friend of mine recommended I go, and she was right. It was awesome. I learned a lot. And I might have to pause here and there if people are doing weird shit on the road, because I'm risking my life as it is to give you this content, this exciting educational information. But if it costs me my life, I blame you entirely. If you find this, if I die and you find this recording, please make sure it gets out to the listeners of the System is Down podcast. But, this camera festival thing, it's primarily for photography people, and I am, as you might know, a video person. There's not, it's mostly photo-centric, but they do have basically one class on video stuff per hour, so there's always something video going on. Then there's tons of photography classes. So I went to this 2 years ago, and I went to a lot of the video classes and learned a lot. And I went to some of the photography classes, and I will be doing that again too, because there's a lot of stuff that translates over to video, like lighting and stuff. So, yeah, blah, 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 who cares? I went 2 years ago, and then it was good enough that they convinced me to buy my ticket to the next year, 2020, then and there, because they were half off if you bought them at the festival. So I did that, and as you may or may not have noticed, 2020 was a slightly different year than we were all expecting and anticipating. And this festival was, for all intents and purposes, canceled. It was rescheduled once within the year 2020. and then it was, or no, maybe they moved it all the way to 2021 then, but they've moved it at least once or twice again since then. So it's been moved 2 to 3 times and rescheduled, and so now it's the 2021 Shutterfest, and I have a ticket and less enthusiasm for going. So I didn't know for sure if I was going. I was debating on it. I actually emailed the festival and asked them, because I was like, if this is like in a public place where they're requiring masks or they have to ask you about your vaccination status or whatever, then I'm not only not interested in going to that and wearing a mask for, 16, 17 hours, but I also don't support that. So I emailed them and I asked them, hey, just want to check, see if this is a requirement, because I'm not seeing a lot of information on your website. And they responded back eventually and told me, we're going by what the local, whatever, official made-up rules are. And the made-up rules currently are, which this is my version of this. They did not say this. This is not verbatim. But they said what the official made-up rules are right now is that inside the hotel and the conference area, it is highly recommended that you wear a mask, which means that we are not requiring masks, and to that I say thank you. I at least they're not saying, like, I've been to some of these festivals and conferences and stuff where they say it is required, and then you don't, and nobody cares, and nobody is, so it's not required. Or if you ask somebody and they're like, well, we're not going to kick you out of here, but we sure would appreciate it, buddy. I don't take my medical advice from the door greeter at Walmart. I don't take my medical advice from the organizers at Shutterfest. I also, surprisingly enough, do not take medical advice from the government. So if the government is insisting that I do something for my health, I, as somebody who doesn't trust the government all that much, tend to not trust them. But whatever, long rabbit trail there. We could get going deep down the COVID trail, but I don't think we're going to be talking about COVID in this episode unless you guys asked about it, which you probably did. But point being, they said it was recommended. And to that I say, thank you for your advice. I will not be taking it. Good day. And I will... Even then, I wasn't sure if I was going, because it's like a 4-hour drive there and a 4-hour drive back, and it's hard for me to justify taking that much time out of work. And, 2 days at the festival. And, most of Friday will be eaten up as well by the drive home. So, I debated it, and then decided, what the hell, I can, some of the things I wanted to do, like I've got a certain video that I need to get done, editing, and that one is a little more easy, like a smaller project that I can do on my laptop and stuff, and it might take a day or two. So I was like, I could probably knock out quite a bit of that in the hotel at night, and basically be like where I would be anyway, because I'm not spending family time at night like I normally would. But and the other thing was recording some podcasts for you guys, because I know that I've been, it's still been once a week, each week, but anytime I'm not doing max capacity, I feel like a slacker. So, and especially when I see people like Josh Smith go from 0 to 120. The dude started his podcast like 6 months ago, and he's recording episode 100, I think, on Thursday, which is tomorrow when I'm recording this. So, he's doing, he went from doing a podcast to a couple times a week podcast, then was like 3 times a week, and now he's dedicated 5 nights a week, just from 0 to 100, out of nowhere. I feel like a slacker compared to that as it is. and he's got like 27 children, I'm pretty sure. But so if I ever miss a week of an episode, I'm gonna feel like an abject failure because Josh Smith is working a normie job and working on the LNC, whatever that means, and raising 25 to 11,000 children. So I'm not sure why I'm talking about Josh Smith right now, but it's really hard to focus on my thoughts when I'm in my studio, much less when I'm driving down the interstate. Anyway, so that was one of the other things I wanted to make sure I got done this week, as promptly as possible. And so I was like, I can do that on the road. I'll have 4 hours there and 4 hours back of downtime. I can certainly work that in at some point, whether or not it's worth doing, because this content is maybe not the most on point, but I know some of you like the weird road trip and beachfront episodes and stuff like that I've done, so what the hell. And if you join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemIsDown, you can get more, like I do this type of thing more often with these bonus like Q&As and bonus like road rage rants or whatever you want to call it. And people in the Downers Club are what keep the show going and growing and getting bigger and better, more beautiful every single week. So beautiful that I have mounted a camera to my dashboard. It is a GoPro, and hopefully it's not just 100% steering wheel in the shot here, because there's not really a good way to check my framing. But you can get some weird shit like this and extended interviews. You can get the after parties that we've been doing on a very regular basis, and you can get Rick and Morty recaps, which we're bringing back as the season is kicking back off, and all that type of stuff. Over in the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemIsDown. People like Level Zero, I know, joined this week. Trenton Campbell joined recently. Stephen Hartman joined at the $50 level, the Neo Downer level, and that gives him an extra bonus shout out as an executive producer of the show. Thank you, Stephen Hartman. Jack Casey is also technically an executive producer of the show, but he is a sponsor as well. Check out the Royal Green at theroyalgreen.com, where you can get all your royal greeny goodness and everything that you love about the color green. I hear that the book has a lot to do, like it's a sci-fi, futuristic type of fantasy. So already an interesting combination. Novel about kind of libertarian values. It incorporates conspiracies, politics, and religion. And from the description, if I was a literate person that could read, I would read it, I believe. That's my glowing endorsement. I'm not typically a big fantasy type. It's mostly because I very scarcely read at all. So if I do read, I'm reading because I want to learn about something. And of course, there is value in telling stories and presenting your cases, your your theologies, I guess, that way. But I digress. The Royal Green has a new book in this trilogy that I think might be a trilogy, or it might be more than a trilogy. I don't know. Here's my turn. It says continue straight, but then it says turn immediately after continuing straight. That's an awful lot like don't turn straight to me, but I really need a phone mount. TheRoyalGreen.com is a book series by Jack Casey, executive producer of The System Is Down, that has a new book out right now called In Gold Throned, I believe. I don't have any notes here, so I'm not going to check, but there is the first book, Soylent Green, I believe is the title of it, Soylent Green. And the second one is The Sword in the Stone, or something like that. And the third one with the like beautiful picture of a ice torch, maybe a blingy ice cream cone emerging from some sort of abstract vagina. The title of that one is what did I just say? I don't know. in gold we trust, something like that. But check them out, all at theroyalgreen.com. Now that I have made my turn, I can stop incoherent rambling, things that would normally be in my head and not come out for the world to hear. We're also sponsored by My Brave Botanicals. Go get your free ounce of kratom at freeounceofkratom.com. You can also get some sweet Delta 8 THC. You can get your colloidal silver, your vitamins, your minerals. Your Delta 8 THC stuff is pretty good. I would definitely recommend it. I've tried their joint, and they've got a nice pre-roll joint. It's good. It's nice. It's calming and relaxing. And it'll give you a little buzz. Check it out. Enter the promo code TSID for 5% off your entire order, or just grab your free ounce of kratom and enter that promo code, or whatever, the drop-down menu or something like that, and you will help out this show. Let them know that we're the ones who sent you. MyBraveBotanicals.com. All your leafy goodness. Okay, so I have to turn in like a mile and a half, and I want to check your question, but instead I think I should probably wait, unless this person's going to stop in the middle of the road, in which case that will give me the perfect opportunity to check your questions. Holy crap. So, speaking of the Downers Club and people who get bonus stuff at patreon.com/The System Is Down, another thing they also get is access to the super secret, super exclusive private Facebook group, which if you have recently joined the Downers Club and I did not send you a link, I forgot and I apologize. But I know a couple of you I have, and some of you I may have not. So hit me up on Patreon or on Facebook or at dan@tsidpod and let me know that you did not receive the Facebook link to the private Downers Club group, and I will get you in there. But in that group, anytime I do stuff like Q&As or whatever, asking for recommendations or getting interview guest questions and stuff like that, I try to, or I always make sure that the Downers Club gets first dibs. Downers get dibs, bro. Downers get dibs. Downer dibs. And yeah, so that means their questions are answered first, while I stutter my way through this tiny town of 150 people that we have to drive ungodly slow in. And hopefully you don't see my projectile spit too much when I'm talking here. I'm realizing that the light is just capturing it just perfectly, that if you slow this down you can probably see every droplet beautifully. I hope you're okay with that. Alright, and my turn is coming up in 0.7 miles, and now it is 0.6 miles, and now I'm gonna turn in 0.5 miles. I wonder if anybody is autistic enough to take what I'm saying in that, how often I switch the number there, calculate the amount of time it took me to say it, and figure out exactly how fast I'm going right now. If you do, I'm not sure if I would think more or less of you, frankly. 800 feet, 700 feet, 600, 500, 400 feet, and when I'm watching my phone, it's a lot closer than it appears. apparently. Okay, so I have turned and now can drive safely for 30 miles without thinking. Okie dokie. Anyway, so Downers Club questions. Downers get dibs, bro. Downers get dibs. First few come from Carolina B. And she posted some questions and then links to articles with each one. And if this was a Freak of the Week segment, I'd be all about it. Let's open these up. Let's have a chat about it. But my response to that, without reading any of these, was Carolina. Because that's the only way you can say Carolina. Nobody says Carolina. It's Carolina. I can't be trying to read... Man, I can't read and drive at the same time. Can't be trying to read fucking articles while I'm driving. You trying to kill me, bruh. So, and she responded and said, oh, yeah, good point. Don't do that. So, the first one is, we give our House of Lord members asked why Brits are forced to take PCR COVID. And then she says, but we give our immigrants animal meds... Hold on. That our FDA says doesn't work. Yes, we give. So I believe this is talking about the ivermectin stuff. All this crazy shit going around with ivermectin. I'll probably rant much more about it if I do a news segment for this week on the way back. But this ivermectin crap is 100% fabricated. Ivermectin is not horse dewormer or horse antibiotics or horse tranquilizer. I've heard all of them, and they are not true, a single one of them, but some of them are just like, where did you even come up with that? The horse tranquilizer? Really? I'm not sure that's... No. But there's a whole lot of weird stuff where, you know, it started out with Donald Trump said drink bleach. Donald Trump did not say drink bleach. Donald Trump said inject bleach into your veins. No, he did not say inject bleach into your veins. He said something to the effect of, and this stuff cures well. It would be great if we had some sort of cleaner that you could just put straight into your veins. And basically, you know, I mean, it was stupid, and it was a stupid thing to say, but that's how Donald Trump talks. He's like the kid who knows nothing, who's trying to show off to his friends about, like, politics or something. He's like, well, did you read the new Obama thing? And they're like, no. Did you? Like, no, but you should really read it, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a lot of great words, in that Obama thing. Like, he heard his parents say something in passing, and he's just regurgitating, which that is, like, probably 75 to 90% of people, generally. They're just walking through their daily life, repeating things that they heard at some point from their parents, which are probably CNN or Fox News. So, yeah. What was I talking about? The ivermectin stuff. Okay, so there's that, and then there was Donald Trump allegedly tells everyone that they need to drink fish tank cleaner because of the hydroxychloroquine, whatever it's called, thing, and which that wasn't true either. He didn't, like, these things are, that and ivermectin are medicines for humans that have been tested, have been used in certain ways, and doesn't mean that they necessarily cure COVID or do anything miraculous to COVID. I have no idea, but calling ivermectin horse tranquilizer is just patently dishonest and a flat-out lie, because there's drugs that are used on animals that are also used on humans, because some things aren't dependent on your, like, species to work. Like, there's antibiotics that are used on animals that are used also on humans, or vice versa, which is more so the case with ivermectin, where ivermectin has apparently won, like, a Nobel Award. Did I hear that correctly? Ivermectin has won a Nobel Peace Prize award for being such an amazing drug. Up, like, for curing or killing, like, some sort of, something. Some sort of bacteria or something like that. Not bacteria, but whatever. Something virusy. Whatever. You don't come here for science. You come here for anger. But, yeah, they say that it's a horse dewormer. And it's won awards for being a drug for humans. It was praised up until now. And it's just like, just because it's going against the COVID narrative. That's the only reason why ivermectin is not a wonder drug, from what I understand. So for it to become this thing now all of a sudden where farmers are, or not farmers, but hillbillies are going out to Farm King and they are buying up horse paste and eating an entire tube of horse paste and going blind from it. First off, I would like to see the interview with that person, because either A, he doesn't exist, or B, he's retarded enough to be entertaining at least, and I would enjoy hearing that man explain his thought process. Like, there was the one lady with the hydroxychloroquine dealio where she's like, Donald Trump said to go drink fish tank cleaner, so my husband and I agreed to drink fish tank cleaner together, and then I ended up not drinking it in a very Romeo and Juliet type of scenario. I ended up not drinking it. My husband did, and he died, and now I'm mad at Donald Trump. Yeah. The Darwin Awards, but I guess it is survival of the fittest, because she proved that she outsmarted her husband, at least, because she definitely killed him. She's definitely a murderer, but whatever. Yeah, the ivermectin thing is complete and utter horse deworm shit. And by the way, Joe Rogan, the main reason why everybody knows about ivermectin now is because of Joe Rogan. And again, I'm going to probably repeat way too much of this later on. Maybe not. If you guys touch on topics that I was planning on touching on in the news, that's probably not going to stop me from spending time ranting about it in the news, but it might be different rant. But Joe Rogan is the main reason why people are talking about this ivermectin thing, because the Republicans apparently came up with this crazy idea of eating horse paste and convincing everyone that horse paste is going to cure them magically of COVID. I'm sure it was no medical professionals anywhere believed that this thing that was once considered a wonder drug could continue to be a wonder drug and help out with this. I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure it was just the Republican conspiracy theorists, right? They were the ones pushing horse paste on people. Like, just the projecting of them constantly saying that, if you believe this stuff, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. You're a crazy right-wing nut job Alex Jones conspiracy theorist. And it's like, actually, you insisting that certain medical professionals are, I don't know, like, if medical professionals disagree with your politics, then they just aren't correct. And they're giving their evidence and rationale, and you're going to write them off because they disagree with your politics. That's pretty conspiracy theoristy. Like, that they assume that the right wingers are all working together for this crazy conspiracy of what? Of what? Why are the conspirators in the Republican Party trying to get everyone to eat horse paste? What, if that's the case, what benefit would it be to them to kill off or blind all their crazy right-wing conspiracy fan base? Whatever. Like, it doesn't even make logical sense. How? I don't know. Whatever. So she says, let me see. Oh, wow, that was quite a rant away from what she was talking about. But we give our... It's all laying the groundwork. She says, we give our immigrants animal meds that our FDA says don't work. Yes, our FDA says it doesn't work. We're being told that it is dangerous and is blinding and killing people, and our hospitals are just full of ivermectin patients now, strangely enough. Joe Rogan got COVID, took it, and a bunch of other stuff. Like, this guy has all the health training people around him. He's got trainers and stuff. Lots of professionals around him. He did that, and 2 days later, he's fine. Maybe a day later, maybe 3 days later. In a very short amount of time, all the people that were rejoicing the imminent death and demise of Joe Rogan, they got real quiet all of a sudden when he said, yep, took another test, it's gone, fuck you. Which is exactly what he should have said. But I'll save some of the Joe Rogan rant because I have more. But, yes. The question is about the FDA stuff and the immigrants. So, I did hear about this with these immigrants that are coming in from Afghanistan, I have heard, are receiving a certain drug of choice as they board to come back to the country, or to come to the country. What's the word for people that we are protecting who are fleeing another country? The word is I should check my directions. See, on these road rants where I don't have any notes or anything to remind me what I'm talking about, you guys see more of how my brain actually functions in real life. Maybe that's why you enjoy it, because you like watching a train wreck happen before your eyes. Quite possibly literally, if I don't pay close enough attention to the road. Yes. They are. That word escapes me, and I know it's a very simple, very common, very normal word. Refugees? Is that it? I think that's the word I'm looking for. For some reason, that doesn't feel right now, but pretty sure it is. These refugees coming into the country from Afghanistan are being given first and foremost ivermectin. That is my understanding. You can quote me on that as saying I don't know this for sure, but I'm relaying stuff that I heard. And look into it, find out for yourself, and fact check me. I'm not a journalist yet. I just play one on TV. But our government is simultaneously condemning anybody who would listen to these crazy theories from hard right-wing conspiracy theorist Joe Rogan, who is neither right-wing nor really that conspiracy theory as much as I would like him to be, and that's kind of why I stopped listening to him. But Joe Rogan's a pretty level-headed guy for the most part, and I would take his word on what you should, like, as somebody who's like a freaking mammoth athlete, just predator human who has been training for the last 30 years. I don't know if anybody knows what it is this guy's training for, but he seems to think something's up, because he's been training for something, and I don't know what it is. I'm going to take his word on health over doughboy Brian Stelter on CNN. If somebody is giving you health advice, are you gonna take financial advice from somebody who's poor? Are you gonna take health advice from somebody who's in kind of like less than ideal, to be kind, less than ideal health? Are you going to take their advice on, health? Or are you going to take Joe Rogan's? He may be short, but he is girthy, I suppose. Anyway, I need to drive the speed limit, which is now 35, because I'm going through a tiny little town of... If you guys want to follow along on the map, please turn to page 95, and we are in... I don't know what town this is, and I don't care. And of course I'm in a town because I'm ready to move on to the next question, because I've only done one, and it's been way longer than it should be for the first question. But I have to not miss my next turn. Oh, her next one just says Freak of the Week, and it's a Freak of the Week submission, thank you. But it's got a tiny little headline that's hard to read while I'm driving down the road. New Zealand stabbing suspect. I probably shouldn't give that away, because good chance I'll use it in the news for the Freak of the Week segment, which, if I'm driving, I won't, but maybe I'll hold on to it, or do it in the hotel, I don't know. I am speeding. Breaking the law. Okay, so hope you guys are doing well on this fine Wednesday. Don't even know if you'll be receiving this on Wednesday, most likely not. But I hope you are doing well. And I am going to be out of this tiny town soon, and the town's name is... And most little towns have, it's pretty easy to tell what the name of the town is, because all the businesses have it's like local blank bank, they have to put their town name and everything. I don't know what town I'm in, but they don't seem very proud of it, so it must not be a good one. It looks a little shitty, so maybe I shouldn't say, even if I figure it out, because that would be mean, and the internet is no place for meanness. Man, we've even got a freaking Ford dealership, and they didn't even put it in their name. Got a Steve's. Pretty sure it's not Steve. And now I think I'm leaving the town, so I don't think they want us to know. Maybe they don't want to be found. That could be the case. Maybe it's a paradise and a haven, and they just don't want people to know what it is. So they don't come. Because these people are racists with racist border ideas. Anyway, whatever. Let's see. So another one from Carolina B. She said, where do Houthis get ballistic missiles? I don't know. Probably us. If I had to guess, probably us. I don't know all that much about it. I don't know all that much about foreign stuff. That's why you may notice that I don't talk about it all that much unless I'm talking to somebody who does know about it, because I don't want to throw people off on any of that stuff with my unintelligentness. Until as I learn, as I know more about these things, I am happy to talk about them. But I only like to talk about things to the level that I should be, I feel like. Fun fact, I just heard last night that apparently the third largest military force in the world, so number one, of course, America, because world police and all, we are number one in that, and China, of course, is number two. The third, as you may have guessed, is what? Russia? No, not Russia. South Korea? No, not that. No, it's the Taliban. It's Afghanistan. We gave them the third largest military in the entire fucking world. If that is true, look it up. Look into it for yourself. But if that is true, like, the Taliban could overtake nations because of us. If they want. And maybe that's the fucking point. Maybe that was the goal all along, is to arm the Taliban so we have a boogeyman to fight for the rest of our 10 max years as a country, to justify our existence and our purpose and our meaning, to continue to create division and thin out the surplus population, I suppose. I don't know. But the third largest military in the world, if I'm understanding this correctly, was us until we gave it to the Taliban. Like, we could have been first and third. I mean, you can only get so first, but if you can split it up like that, now we've got the first largest and the third largest because we armed the third largest with their military. That obviously has nothing to do with your question, but without reading this article and without knowing enough to comment, that's all I can give you right now. Carolina B with the next one. I'm just doing these in order. It's just the order they were submitted in, so deal with it. If you hop into one of these quick, you might get the entire episode if you are persistent enough, because I will take all of them for this type of thing. I do not censor your freedom of questioning things and staying uncomfortable. Okay, do you think Australians are progressive forms of American progressives? Australians are progressive forms of American progressives. Yes. Yes. I mean, that's the only way your government gets to the point where they can get away with that type of thing, I would imagine. The prison country will continue to be the prison country. And, so, to my understanding, a lot of people say Australia was disarmed, and that's why they, it's disarming of the people that leads to this. And I've said that too before I heard that apparently Australia is actually not currently disarmed, and they currently have more guns than they did when the enactment went into place. I think there was a buyback and then a rebuyback. I don't know. It was probably just government's way of taking a bunch of money and brainwashing more people into thinking that there could be a problem with guns. And I mean, if you are the government and you are like swinging in your big old power over everyone, and you take away the guns and then you give them back, how is the first thing that the people do not use the guns? Like, how is it not the first thing that they do is to use those guns to be like, never again, mofo, and cap a couple bitches? But I would imagine, I don't know how long they lost their guns, but I would imagine there's a lot of brainwashing process there that is like, the government has shown that they can do this and they will do this if they need to do this. So we're going to give these back, but you better play nice. You better be the nice indoor cats that we have trained you to be over the last couple of years. And I imagine that's a lot to do with why they are in this just unspeakable lockdown situation where they literally cannot leave their homes without being reported, without being arrested. A guy was hunted down for sneezing in an elevator with COVID. Dick move, yeah, it was. But criminal dick move? I don't think so. No. He was caught on security cam sneezing in an elevator, and then he was like manhunt on the run. Frickin', I don't know. I was gonna reference the movie, but I can't remember the name of that either. But you probably know what it is. You probably do. Probably The Fugitive or something. I don't know. I don't remember. the movie I was referencing. Anyway, that didn't go the way I wanted it to. Anyway, so yeah, Australia is a complete shithole at this point, and it's not for lack of like technology or intelligence or whatever. It's from brainwashing your population into, like, I don't care if you want to call it progressivism or like leftism or anything like that. It's just from brainwashing to capitulate, to believe that your government has all the power and they have the right to enact it at will as they so choose. Because when this man was hunted down for sneezing in an elevator, he was like arrested, and I think he was I think they were violent with him too. I could be wrong. I think he got a little roughed up. And to my understanding, people were very happy about it. Like, probably shouting from their windows, cheering this on. And you don't get there just from believing in, I don't know, socialism. Like, I love the dream of socialism. I'm perfectly fine with it. Communities, stuff like that. I was just on a podcast last week, I think it was. I don't know if it's out yet. I don't know. But I was on the podcast, if I can think of the name of it. Shit. Let me take a drink while I think. Czars. Reality is Ours. The Reality is Ours podcast. I went on there with, I believe his name was Nate, and I could be completely wrong about that too. And we talked about everything from conspiracies to politics to religion and all this type of thing. And now I'm going to forget why I brought this up, but it was relevant to the thing that I was talking about, which was as follows. You know, stuff. Go listen to that episode. There was something that I said in there that this reminded me of that I was going to reference. But just go listen, go look at Reality is Ours podcast, and maybe you can find the one point that I was about to make that is completely gone now. Anyway, that is the second man I have seen with, maybe it's the same man that I saw a couple days ago, really far away, riding down the road on a bicycle with ape hangers, you know, like the really high handlebars. Look absolutely retarded. And now I think it's the same guy, and I'm like 2 hours away, and or maybe 3 hours away from where I was at the time when I saw him. I'm wondering if this guy is doing a cross-country ape hanger ride, and it's going very poorly. Because it's a terrible idea. But it's like he wanted to be a part of a biker gang, and they were doing this cross-country thing, and they got away from him real fast. Like, they just took off, and he's like, oh shit. And he's still trying to catch up with them while they're at home resting safely. I'm not sure why I'm talking about this guy, but it's mostly because I completely forgot what I was talking about. Let's see. Australia, progressives. Oh, yeah, community stuff. I'm all fine with community stuff. I talked to a guy on Reality is Ours about my wife and I. At one point, we thought about joining a little commune up in Chicago. Jesus People USA. They put on Cornerstone Festival, which we went to every year. And, yeah, it was just a cool, like, punk rock hippies, basically. And it would have been a lot of fun. We never did. Kind of glad, because I'd probably be I don't know if I'd be in a better place than I am now. And I'm sure stuff like that is getting really politicized these days. But I have nothing against communities. I have nothing against communes. I have nothing against socialism on a small scale. It's the forced socialism that I take issue with. So, yeah, I don't think it's just people who think about community too hard that end up going down these tyranny trails to death I think it's 100% brainwashing, and I do think there's a global agenda. I think there's people who are pushing for certain things to happen that we don't have to get into too deeply. And I think that Australia and COVID and all of this stuff in general is really good trial runs, test runs, see how people respond to these types of things. What's going to happen to Australia? What's the worst thing that could happen to this tiny little shit splat that's out in the middle of nowhere? You can just burn the whole fucker down if it doesn't work out. And there might be some people there that hopes that that's the case in the coming future. I hope not. I hope that they do something about it. And I know it's easy for me to say, get up and do something about it. You need to take charge. You are the power and all that stuff. But I have created a fairly comfortable life for myself, not with the intention of COVID, but it just so happened to work out nicely that by the time COVID struck, I was all well into my self-employment and don't typically have to travel all that much. But yeah, so it's easy for me to say that you need to do something about it. I can't imagine what I would do if I was an Australian citizen right now. I can't even imagine. I would like to think that I would nut up or shut up and go out and kick ass and take some names or whatever dumb shit lots of people say. That is the way to do it. Whether or not I would make the right choice when push comes to shove, I like to think I would. But I also like to be honest and realistic as possible. I can't imagine what they're going through right now, and I hope that it's not as bad as I'm hearing, and I hope that it blows over faster than I'm suspecting. I am hopeful, but yeah. So, to answer your question, is it because of progressivism? In a way, but only in the way that progressivism is part of the brainwashing tactic. But that tactic is both sides of the spectrum too. It's the dividing brainwashing tactic of convincing the right to be as radical as possible while convincing the left to be as radical as possible, making them both flagrantly inconsistent in their principles and their worldviews, so that there's chaos and confusion and they eat each other alive. It's not racism, it is classism. This is a us versus them, not a me versus you situation that we are in, and we need to be thinking more that way. So I stand with the people of Australia and hope that they have as much balls as I like to think that I possibly might have when faced with the choice. But I totally understand. Like, I can't even imagine doing this stuff for real I can imagine doing this stuff for real, having a wife and 2 children that I love very much. I can imagine doing it and how devastating it would be regardless of the outcome. For me, for them, for whoever is involved, I don't want that at all. And I don't want that for the people of Australia, because fighting a government means almost certain death. And that's terrifying. But what is the alternative? When you've given them power, when you've granted them access to the keys of everything, that's what we've done in one way or another. I don't necessarily think our votes count for jack shit, but in one way or another, we have let this get out of hand, because we could have stopped this at a sooner point. And all I'm trying to do is, at the very least, pump the fucking brakes before this gets any further out of hand, to the point where it has to escalate to things that nobody wants. If it comes to that, it wasn't for a lack of trying to avoid it. If you are pushing for that, you are ignorant, no matter which side of this you are on. Okay, coming to a stop, and might have to skip some Carolina B posts here, because there's a few of them. Let me see. Welcome to the Carolina B Hour. Oh, I think that was the last one, I think. Oh, wait, she had another one in there. Hold on. Distraction traffic with Carolina B. Do you think Assange will Epstein himself? I don't know if I trust Assange. Like, I feel like if Assange was going to Epstein himself, like, I don't know anything new that's come out about him or anything lately, but I don't know how I feel about the guy. I kind of want to trust him, maybe even a little bit more than, like, Snowden, but I feel like he won't. I feel like if he was going to, if they were going to bump him off, they would have done it a long time ago. The fact that he's still alive leads me to suspect that maybe he's not trustworthy, but it also leads me to suspect that maybe he's, I don't know, got too much dirt or maybe he's got not as good of a dead man switch as, McAfee allegedly had, or Epstein. I don't know. Did Epstein have any kind of dead man switch? I doubt it, because he was a part of it. I've heard from certain people on a certain show called Breaking the Cycle that I was on a certain week recently that John McAfee did indeed kill himself, and he has a bunch of allegations as to why. Go listen to that episode. I was on it with Ryan Dawson on Breaking the Cycle. Ryan Dawson and our boy Jack Casey and our other boy Joshua Smith. Go check out that episode. It was a fun one, and of course a controversial one. But we were talking about a bunch of conspiracy stuff, and I had to bring up the John McAfee stuff because I have heard a clip of Ryan Dawson saying that he called the cops on John McAfee, and that's why John McAfee killed himself. That's definitely 100% an oversimplification, because Ryan Dawson's explanation of that would be very thought out, and it would last for 37 minutes. But I don't know. I don't know, and I haven't dug into it any more than that. But I'm probably gonna have Ryan Dawson on the show soon too, so I'll be canceled by the Libertarian Party because they're a bunch of scumbags these days. Let me see. And I don't mean like everybody who's in the Libertarian Party. I am still in the Libertarian Party. I am a member, and I am a supporter of the Libertarian Party. Once the Libertarian Party gets its shit together, I'll be all about the Libertarian Party. And give it a couple months. But this Karen Ann Harlow stuff has got me pissed off. But we'll save that for the news. Maybe. I don't know. Unless somebody asks about it. Let me see here. Yeah, she says, sorry, you're right. Please don't die, Dan. Okay. Done. So far, so good. I made it through all of the Carolina B Hour without dying. So, kudos to me. Nathan Titus says, deep thoughts on aliens. Fake. Fake and dumb. Deep thoughts on aliens. Actually, I'm pretty sure we talked about this in the Reality Czars podcast too. I think he asked me my thoughts on them, and I gave him a big, long, elaborate, they're giants, bro, answer. So go check that out. How many in our galaxy? I don't know. How many on this flat plane of existence that we're on? I don't know, man. There is a certain corner of my brain that I save reserved for the idea that our Earth is flat, because I love the theory, and I find the theory fascinating and compelling. So in that tiny little closet there, I've got like, well, if this then that, and if this then that, and like fun tying stuff together. I find it fascinating. It would be, as I said on the Reality Czars podcast, it's basically my favorite interpretation of the world. My favorite, if you were going to make a movie out of this, that would be the most exciting one and the most interesting one to me. Doesn't mean I'm like convinced 100% or anything like that, but I love entertaining it. I love going into that closet every now and then. So in that, if I jump into that closet, which is my favorite closet, and give you my perspective there, I would put it as follows. There's a lot of evidence over the years, over the decades, over the centuries, over much time, that there were Nephilim giants one day that roamed the earth, and they were the, let's say, the offspring of mating of spiritual entities, be it demons or angels, mating with human women, and they created this species of giant humans. And there's a lot of crazy stuff out there in history about it. It's not just the Bible. It's not even really the Bible all that much. Like, the Bible left the one dude in that got his head chopped off by the short dude that's always talked about, or on the Dave versus Goliath podcast. I'm sure he knows all about it. But they left one of the giants in. Apparently it served their narrative when they were rewriting the Bible. That's a topic for another day. But they took out, like, the Book of Enoch and stuff like that, which alluded more to some of this quote-unquote mystical stuff that's only urban legend now, because it was taken out of our religious text, but it was left in the, the theory, the mythological made-up stuff text. That's fine. So I think that let's put it this way, if you told me that aliens were going to come down, quote-unquote, or we're going to be told that there are aliens that came down, and they're basically this giant human species that looks really foreign and weird, almost maybe angelic, possibly, then, what better way? Like, if we... Okay, so let's say these giants are still around somewhere, and they're hiding them, which there are tales of, like, one in Afghanistan in particular, ironically enough, that a bunch of U.S. military got slaughtered by not long ago. It's a tale. Don't know if it's true. But if there are these giants out there hiding, and the powers that be want a one world government, they want a global currency, a global authority, a global everything, so we're not able to have any power at all because we don't have a local government that we can deal with as is needed. If that is what they're pushing for, what better way than to roll out giant alien things and say, you must bow down and worship us and do as we say. Like, these are aliens and we have to cooperate. We have to work together now. Obviously, now we can work together and have unity because we have to either defend ourselves from these things, like there's something greater than ourselves, or we have to, work for these things. And they're telling us that they want us to be peaceful and they want us to all come together under this one global authority. Now, that crazy rambling is my favorite. There's also a large part of me that thinks it is certainly entirely possible that the Earth is a spinning ball rocketing through the galaxies and feels like it's not moving ever. And if that is the case, that we are a speck on a speck in the middle of a speck in this vast nothingness that is the universe, whether it be created by God or some random explosion that makes no sense. Either way, if I believed that I was there and that insignificant on that dot, I would think that there has to be other intelligent life in the universe. Other God's lazy, or nature is like stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense for there to be all of that and not have aliens. So I hold both of these two things as exciting and interesting, entertaining theories in my mind. Those are my thoughts on aliens. I could dig deeper, but we're like 4 questions in and looks like about an hour. So let's see. He says, any nearby? If giants, then yeah, I'd say there's probably some hiding out here or there in certain places that we're not allowed to know about. There are large parts of this country that we're not actually allowed to look at. believe it or not, but whatever. Have they come to Earth? If they are, So it's also possible that, there are aliens, and this is another theory that I hold. There are aliens in the sense that they're spiritual or interdimensional beings or something like that. I think that that's absolutely possible as well. Maybe they're spirits, maybe they're angels, maybe they're demons. If you bring up aliens to a Christian, a lot of them will say, oh, those are just demonic forces. But how come anything that you don't understand or seems a little frightening to you is instantly a demon and not an angel, when people in the Bible seem to be pretty scared of angels every fucking time they saw them? But maybe either, maybe neither, maybe something. I don't know. But I think that there's something, yes, interacting. Like, even if we go the Giants route and all of these, I don't know, different technologies, different things that we see, maybe they're interdimensional, maybe they are something else. There's all sorts of possibilities. Maybe they're spiritual. There can be these God or these demon human hybrids or these angel human hybrids or whatever roaming around the earth, and also have demons that are popping in and out, or angels popping in and out. I don't know. Depends on which way you take this. I think it could go any way, and I'm fascinated by all of them. And are they nearby? Have they come to Earth? Yeah, I would say most likely in any one of these given situations or scenarios, they're either here or they've been here or we've been in contact with them. I think that we have been in contact with something. I believe our government is hiding something. And I think every time the government comes out and says, here's a little bit of stuff to keep you focused on this alien thing, I think that it seems like they're baiting us into going, oh, the government knows, and the government is hiding aliens. And we talk about aliens, and aliens are all over the news and on National Geographic and in all the movies and every freaking where, the History Channel, everywhere, talking about aliens. They're never talking about giants, and giants have been in textbooks and museums and things. The Smithsonian, and then all these places suddenly got real quiet and hush-hush about them. And the narrative changed to, oh, no, those were never giants. We never had giants. Those were all fake. I can't prove it, but a lot of little podunk town newspapers reporting on seeing or discovering bones and giant skeletons and things like that. There's lots of it. Look into it. It's not just religious. It's not just, conspiracy theory. It's like little newspapers reporting on it. So, whatever. And I posted something about giants on Twitter recently, and somebody was like, yeah, but you can't trust the MSM, bro. Like, well, I'm talking about like a newspaper from like, I don't know, the 1800s in like a tiny town. He was like, yeah, but the news has always lied from the beginning. It's like, what are you talking about? How do you know that? How do you know? Like, everybody who has ever been a journalist, ever in any capacity, is a liar, just flat out. So anything that they talk about is a lie. Even liars tell the truth sometimes. But, that doesn't prove anything. And the fact that you would say, well, we can't trust the news because they said the giants were real. It's like, what about all the ones right now that are saying giants aren't real? You can't have it both ways. So that was pretty funny. Let me see. I gotta hit this turn, and then I'll get back to your question. But, yeah, I'm not gonna be, like, shocked or all that surprised. Like, if I die and find out that everything that I thought was true is actually wrong, I am not going to be that surprised. Now, if I die and I find out that everything that I believed was true, I'm also not going to be all that surprised. Like, I hold these things loosely. These should not be really, I don't know, turning these things into like basically religious practices instead of explorations into what is truth is where this stuff gets stupid. Because like if you believe that there's a creator out there and he is worth worshiping, which I would imagine he is if he created you, or she, whatever, I'll be progressive for a second, but if there is a being out there, or if there is something, if you feel like you know and understand that, if you've gotten to that point, then by all means do what you know deep down to be true. 100%. So I'm not like knocking on religion or anything. If you think you're farther along, if you think you've figured it out, if you think you've got the answer, fine. I have no problem with that, because I understand that I am stupid. And as someone who understands that he is stupid, I would like to remain humble enough that I can... Oh, looks like my video died probably a long time ago. So if you're watching the video, thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed this segment of me driving and looking at my face. I'm not done yet, and I'm pretty sure my audio is still recording, so we will proceed. And you'll probably just have some sort of crappy title card here. Probably putting in some sort of joke or something about how something is not working or something. Yes. 17 miles. Okay. So, yeah, I like to stay humble enough that none of these things should be too surprising. I will be, like, I mean, I say that, but again, it's also hard to imagine being in a situation where this crazy outlandish theory that I have in my head comes true, or is proven to be true. I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I was right. But I won't be like, I cannot believe I was right. Because if I couldn't believe that that would be right, then why would I entertain it all that far or in depth, I suppose. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. Deal with it. It's my show. But what else? There was more to that question. What shady shit is the government doing with them at the International Space Station or on the moon? Hold on, I'm merging. What shady shit is the government doing? Now, I know when you asked this question, you were thinking it was just going to be primarily about aliens. But unfortunately, that's not as interesting to me. I think if there are little green, gray, whatever, spacemen out there floating around, I think that, yeah, they've probably been here at some point. We probably do have evidence of it. Maybe not. And the fact that if they haven't been here doesn't disprove them even the slightest bit. Because according to the official narrative, we haven't been there either, wherever there is. So if they can get here magically, it's by magic that we don't understand. So it doesn't mean that they don't exist. There could be an entirely different planet. If you want to go theological and philosophical, this was always the fun one for me. We want to think that there's a different planet that functions exactly the same as Earth, has the exact same type of sun, where like all of the stuff just perfectly to sustain life as Earth does, and it has other beings exactly like us there. Like, let's just say there's different humans on another Earth somewhere, hypothetically. If God is real, if Jesus, which is the name that we gave to a man named, I believe, Yeshua, is the closest, Gesundheit, the closest that we can get to, or we've gotten to pinning down that man's actual name. But let's say he comes, dies, let's say the Bible, let's say all this stuff, like, if all that stuff is 100% true, is there another one? Do they have the same Bible? Did they have the same thing play out? Did he go visit them too? Did he make the same sacrifice? Did he, does it mean as much? Did he say, why, God, my God, why have you forsaken me? Or did he say, fuck, not again. Like, gotta do this again? I thought we were just hanging out this time. I thought we were just catching fish and shit. I thought we were like, just doing some of these tricks. Like, I got real popular off the magic tricks. and the healing people and stuff, the walking on water, the calming of the waves, those fun stuff. You tell me I couldn't just live it up for a minute? I gotta go do the whole, death by strangulation of hanging the least comfortable way possible and being poked in the ribs thing? Gotta do all that again? Really? Like, it doesn't really make all that much sense to begin with. Why, I mean, if you're the creator of everything, you made the rules. Don't put it on me. Don't tell me that God, or God, Jesus, whatever, had to come and save me. I know, this is getting heretical, but these are jokes, people. Whatever. So, Jesus you had to send your son, who is you, that you made out of you, I would imagine. He had to come here and die because you fucked up with the rules? Is that it? You made this rule, you made this sin stuff, you made us fall for it every fucking time. Like, is this pranked? Is this endless pranked? Is this the Truman Show? What's going on here? I don't know. These are some of the thoughts that are in my brain, and it's whatever. I think if there is a God and a creator, which I do believe that there is, I think he's got a way better sense of humor than we give him credit for, and he's just a little bit more understanding than we are, which is why I have a hard time believing that there's any kind of hell that exists. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. What shady shit is the government doing? I don't know how we got on that. At the International Space Station. I don't know, probing them back, giving them what they deserve. Let's say that. They're spending 100% of their time and 10 trillion tax dollars just probing aliens. Just probing them and sending them home. That's it. Just paybacks. Haunting their dreams. I don't know. Abducting them and their cows. Their alien cows. I don't know. Thoughts on Hollow Earth. This is from Nathan Titus. Hollow Earth is fun. I think it's fascinating, and I hope it's true, just like the Flat Earth. I think it's fun, I hope it's fascinating, or I think it's fascinating, and I hope it's true. That would make this world way more interesting to find out that that's the case. And I think that there's a lot of compelling evidence on that as well. And a lot of it aligns, let me make sure I'm not missing my turn here, a lot of it aligns with the Flat Earth stuff even. Like, it doesn't have to be just a one or the other. You can have a Flat Earth that also has a creamy, I don't know, Bigfoot Godzilla center. Did you guys watch? I went and saw the new Kong versus Godzilla, whatever the hell it's called, in theaters. I went with a friend, and it was actually surprisingly entertaining. It was just nice to not have a bunch of... And I know I've talked about this on the show before, but it was nice to not have a bunch of politics shoved down our throats. For once, it was just a nice blockbuster explosion movie, which was fun. And good to be back in theaters. I think it was the first one I saw since COVID. And a lot of conspiracy theory stuff, and I didn't even know that going into it. But they got into the Hollow Earth. And when I say they got into it, I mean they actually went to the Hollow Earth, and that was a big part of the movie. It didn't really make sense why it was a big part of the movie, but the fact that it was a part of the movie, I thought was pretty sweet and pretty cool. The fact that it was a part of the movie leads me to believe less that that is the truth, unless it's, with the conspiracy theory people, you've got the ones who say, like, if they're showing it to you, then it must not be true. And then you have the ones who say if they're showing it to you, it's because it's hidden in plain sight. And it can't be both, guys. It just can't. You can't say some conspiracy theories are proven because they're in Hollywood, and some conspiracy theories are proven as psyops because they're in Hollywood. You can't have it both ways. But my thoughts on Hollow Earth are... It could explain a lot of phenomenon that we don't understand, that we don't talk about. It could explain why the Atlantic Treaty was signed, or the Antarctica Treaty? Yeah, the Antarctica Treaty was signed after Robert, General Admiral, I think Robert Byrd? I think that's his name. Right after he did all his exploratoriization, with military funding, taking people up to Antarctica. Then he comes back and says, there's all these natural resources everywhere. It's amazing. It's like God's gift to humanity. you know, something that all the governments would 100% jump on, all these natural resources. But instead, they all signed a treaty saying, we'll never go there. We need to preserve this forever and ever. Amen. Because it's a natural, I don't know, exhibit that nobody can look at. Because we don't want to ruin nature. That would be just too gosh darn bad if we all, you know, didn't have natural resources to make life more nice, productive, and probably make new technologies that could stop quote-unquote global warming or climate change or global cooling or whatever today's flavor is. But, yeah, all the countries agreed. All the major countries that could do anything about it agreed. Yep, we're going to sign this treaty. You know, we can't agree on anything else ever, but we all agree on this forever and ever, amen, and we can't go back there. And one theory is that in Antarctica there is some sort of a entrance, hole, portal, whatever. There's something, some entrance into a hollow earth. And that is where chimeras and, I guess not chimeras, that's not the word I'm looking for, cryptids and, like, the Loch Ness Monster and all these, you know, crazy things. All these crazy things come out of there, or something like that. Godzilla and whatnot. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I think it's fascinating. I think I kind of like the flat Earth more. But I'm open to both of them being completely retarded, and I'm open to either and or both of them being 100% true. Nathan Titus says, favorite book? I mean, I gotta say the Bible, obviously, because that is always the case. No, it's not. And I say that because, well, I don't know. I don't read much, but I do a lot more listening to things, not even audiobooks, because I get very distracted and have to keep rewinding. But I would say probably my favorite book of all time, if we're cutting out the cop-out, the Bible go-to, as a pastor's kid, I would have to say probably Alice in Wonderland. Oddly enough, not sure why. It's not because of the generic conspiracy theory, brainwashing, MK Ultra type references that are in there. It had nothing to do with that. I don't know why. I loved it as a child. I think it was the only book, maybe one of two books that I read multiple times in my life. I think I read it 2 or 3 times. It's been a long time. And I was actually at PorkFest, I grabbed it was like a, what's it called? Like a book with illustrations. What are they called? Like the fat comic books, a graphic novel type book that had the retelling of the classic version of Lewis Carroll's, both Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass mashed into one, which is pretty cool. I haven't read that either, but I might do it because it's probably probably easier for me to read with pictures now that I'm an ADHD adult. But yeah, I was always fascinated just by the randomness, just by, maybe it's not random. I'm sure there's a lot of conspiracy people that are like, it's not random, bro, it means this, and it's all coding. I haven't dug that deep into it, but I just loved the random, dry humor, and yeah, the visual, the mental imagery, and all that stuff. Thought it was a fascinating book, and I don't know why, but it was before it was like hipstery and trendy and, I don't know, gothic, or even like, I wasn't even into the Hot Topic phase yet when I loved the book. I liked it before it was cool, okay? And I liked it before it was lame when Disney ruined it too, okay? But I don't know, there's something about that book that I always really enjoyed the randomness of. Another one, well, I think the only other one that I've read maybe multiple times was Holes. I loved that book as a child, and recently rewatched the movie with Shia LaBeouf, and it was a really, really good, interesting book, and had some really compelling storytelling in the book, and the movie after rewatching it recently, it's good. It holds up, and I was surprised. It's a pretty dang good movie. I also love the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book. Speaking of random, dry, witty humor, yes, I am comparing that and Alice in Wonderland, and probably some nerds are going to get mad at me for it. I don't care. All right. What else do we have here? What else do we have as I pass the semi? Anthony Meyer says, "Do you even lift, brah?" I've never... That's not true. I was going to say I've never lifted bra, but I've done that. Yeah, I've done that a time or two. Yeah. I am not currently lifting. Me and lifting have an off and on relationship. I mostly don't care all that much, and I'm not all that motivated. Like, since I've it's like it goes in waves. I go in phases, and then nothing ends up happening, and I just get bored. Like, I don't like it. It's not even just the physical exertion. It just feels like a waste of time when I'm doing it. I like the results sometimes when things are toning up a bit, but then I'm like, it's tone. It's tone. I'm not going to be Joe Rogan, no matter how many hours I stand here in front of this mirror. I'm not going to be that stallion that eats horse paste. That was a tweet of mine when that all went down. Was people giving Joe Rogan shit for eating horse paste, like they didn't know he was a freaking stallion or something like that. And yeah, whatever. Yeah, no, I don't lift all that much. I try to, and I'll have long bouts where I'll do, like, you know, your cardio stuff and push-ups and sit-ups and like pumping some, I don't know, 30 pound, 15 pound, something pound, I don't know, 20 pound dumbbells. It's like a set that I have in my room, because I'm like the weird old uncle or grandpa or something that has the dumbbells. I don't know, there's something weird about it. I feel like it's only weird old people who have dumbbells in their room to lift before bed or in the morning or whatever. But I do sometimes. And that was giving your question way too much credit in the answer, because I'm sure you don't care at all about any of this stuff. But it is a rambling, ranting AMA, and the longer that I rant, the longer that I ramble, the longer I can stare at the road instead of trying to read your questions. Craig DaCosta says, and we are probably only going to do Downers, or probably only going to answer Downers Club questions in the main episode, and if you asked a question outside of the Downers Club, you can go get access to those answers in the Downers Club. I did not plan to be this shady and manipulative, but here I am, and if you want me to rant about yours, you're probably going to have to go join the Downers Club to hear it. So, sucka, tip your waiter on your way out. It's going to be like $5 a month is all. Chill out, bro. Support. Represent creators that you enjoy. That is all. Okay, enough of the plug. Try and speed this up. Holy shit. Tim Finnegan asked like 20 questions last night, apparently, after the last time I checked this. Tim! Okay. Thank you, and holy shit. Okay. So, let me see. I suppose since we spent an hour answering Carolina B's questions, I gotta give Tim the same courtesy. When will the... Okay, Craig DaCosta says, when will the powers that be say the pandemic emergency is over? What do you think it will take? When do I think it will be over? Hold on, let me reread the beginning of that. When will they say it's over, and what do you think it will take? Okay. It depends on what you mean by over. Because I don't think it's going to go away. If it does go away, I don't think it was the intention. I don't really think we can say it's going to go away any more than we can say that we expect the TSA to go away at this point. The TSA was put into place because of 9/11. It was given an emergency power grab that was only temporary, and as we all know, there is nothing more permanent than a temporary government solution. I don't think it's going to go away in the sense that they're going to jump, like the precedent has been hard set now. When they said new normal, they fucking meant it. At the very least, the precedent has been set to where if there is an outbreak of any kind, or they feel like, you know, convincing us there's an outbreak of any kind, they can do any of this stuff again because we allowed it to get to this far. Now, what can we do to prevent it from going any further? I think mostly, I think the most realistic thing that we can do to keep this from going any further is to be annoying as fuck. Like, to be belligerent and be the annoying ones. And I don't mean like screaming at people who are wearing masks or aren't wearing masks or whatever stupid shit people have been doing. But calling businesses and saying, hey, are you going to enforce this? Hey, are you going to discriminate against me for this? Like, putting a little bit of heat on, like, boycotting anybody that doesn't. If they get away with this vaccine passport bullshit, then we're going to have to do a lot more than we're doing right now to be boycotting. So I would say start boycotting now. If somebody is capitulating now, they're going to capitulate later. And you can say, right now, they're just doing their jobs. Right now, they're just going with the flow because it's not that big a deal to have to get tested, or it's not that big a deal to have to wear a mask, or it's not that big a deal to have to wear a passport. How about it's not that to have a passport? How about it's not that big a deal to get vaccinated? How about it's not that big a deal to take a twice daily pill? That's a thing Pfizer is pushing for now. A twice daily pill for a thing that barely kills anyone. The precedents are being set daily, and every time we give in to a new one, the bar just moves and moves and moves. They move that goalpost. This only goes as far as we allow it to. COVID only exists until we say enough. I don't mean the evil, scary disease. I mean the paranoid, delusional schizophrenia that our entire society and existence of our species is currently brainwashed in right now. Except for, like, the fucking Amish and tribes in Africa that don't seem to be suffering from this at all. The only people who are suffering are the people who watch the news, because that's where cancer thrives. That's where cancer comes from. So yeah, what do you think it will take? I think the most realistic place to start is to be annoying. That means, like, calling your representatives, calling your governors, calling everyone, getting governors kicked out of office right now. I think California is doing a great job at proving what it's going to take. And it's going to take a whole hell of a lot. Pushing and fighting to recall corrupt politicians. And it's like, well, who do we replace them with? If somebody asks that question, say, I don't give a shit if you replace them with anybody. Like, our California could function, would be more functional if they did not have a governor in power at all. At all. And of course that's true. Otherwise they wouldn't be recalling him. That proves that more than 50% of people, I don't know for sure exactly how the numbers line up, but most people to some capacity are reasonable enough to know that these lockdowns are not okay. So you can do stuff like that. I know it's going to take a lot, but imagine if frickin' Larry Elder ends up winning because these people pushed. Like, there is still politics that can be won and can be valuable on the local level. And there's value in the national as well, for the sake of basically branding and marketing this, the value of liberty. That's basically what the only point of the national runs and stuff like that, in my opinion. But yeah, there's lots of local levels, and especially if it can happen to the governor of California, one of the biggest states in the country, not the biggest, obviously, but one of the biggest states in the entire country. Is it the highest population, or is that like New York City or something? I don't know. But one of the biggest populations as well. Probably the biggest population in the country. If they, uber major blue state, if they can go through this and say enough is a fucking enough, and they get their governor recalled, then why am I not doing it in Illinois right now? Like, I try to practice what I preach. I try to be realistic and only give you guys advice that I would be willing to do when push comes to shove. Right now, the only thing really that I can say is stopping me is that it hasn't affected my life enough for me to be more outraged than I am. Like, I'm still fairly comfortable, if I'm being honest. But that's just because I live in a small town and I work for myself. So masks aren't that big a deal. Vaccines aren't, the necessary norm. I'm probably missing my turn. Let me see. 1.1 miles. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna be there soon. Shit. Huh. Okay. So I'm to St. Louis now. That's cool. I did see an arch. Oh, man. I think we'll probably have to wrap it there, and I'm not even going to be able to get to the Tim Magic Hour because I got to go find my spot. Maybe I'll pick this back up. Maybe I'll do more later. Maybe I'll make this all one giant episode. Maybe I'll make it like 25 parts. I don't know. But I hope this has been fun for you guys, and I don't know what's going to come of it or if it's even going to sound good. But I got to let you go because I got to drive. Tune in next time for another episode of RoadRage on the road with me, Dan Smots of The System Is Down, where I rage about random nonsense and tell you way too much information about my driving habits and reveal too much about my mental state. Let's see. There's like 12 exits here, so this should be easy enough. Please consider joining the Downers Club, because most likely, if you're a normie listener, you're probably not going to get your questions answered here, because again, Downers get dibs, bro. Downers get dibs. Get up in there. Not only get your questions answered, get them answered first and in the main episodes when these happen in the future. And you'll hear all the rest of this, whatever that may be, and I will answer your questions. I will answer your questions, every last damn one of them, because I'm not successful enough at this yet to deny anybody who's interested in my ramblings. I appreciate you very much, whether you're paying for it or not. But especially to those of you who are paying, thank you guys so much. You are what keeps this show building and doing more fun shit like this. I am going to go sit in a bunch of meetings now and listen to nerds talk about nerdy camera shit, but it can only improve the quality of what I am personally doing for couples in the wedding industry, things that I'm doing for small businesses in commercials that I'm making, things that I'm doing to help the Libertarian Party, the Libertarian Movement, the Mises Caucus, Spike Cohen, Dave Smith, and all the cool people in the world. So, yeah, hopefully this all is to the benefit of you guys and us and the world. I like to look big picture at stuff like this. That's another reason why, I mean, I might be blowing this out of proportion and stroking my ego a little bit much, but every little thing counts, and I don't think it's an accident that I bought tickets to this thing. I think it's because it spoke to me in a way last time, and I'm going to come find out if it does that again. If not, if I go the first day and it just blows chunks, I'll go back to my hotel room and just record and edit and shit all day long, and you guys will get even more content that you won't listen to. But if you made it this far into the episode, please go leave the promo code. What should the password be for today? The password is where I tell you a word and you let me know if you made it this far into the episode by using this password wherever you interact with me. Be that Twitter at TSIDpod, be that my email at dan@tsidpod.com, or be that, Facebook, Instagram, I guess, whatever, wherever you talk to me, wherever you reach me, you can drop me a line and let me know that you made it this far, and I will send you back a joke or a GIF or something stupid, and you can leave the password, which is, let's say, St. Louis, because I am currently looking at the St. Louis Arches. We'll say that, 900 feet. Oh, shit, that's sooner than I thought. Let's see, downtown. Tucker Boulevard. Oh, hey, if you're in the Aledo area, Aledo, Illinois, or Quad Cities area, I'm playing a show on September 11th for the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And it's called 9/11 Emo Dance Party, and it is going to be a blast where we're playing some, like, borderline acoustic-y, like, stripped-down versions of old emo classics, like Blink-182 stuff, Dashboard Confessional, My Chemical Romance, Panic at the Disco, Simple Plan, maybe Senses Fail. All those sad shit bands from back in the fun MySpace days that we all miss so much, whether we are willing to admit it or not. So that is happening at Ferg's in Aledo, Illinois. You can find it just look up the new classics online. There's not much on our page, but we do have a Facebook page that because we'll just go out and play like 4 hours, like once every year or two. It's been at least a year, probably more because of COVID, since we've played. But we're gonna do a 4-hour set on September 11th evening, and y'all should come out if you're in the local area. I know most of you aren't. The vast majority of you are from across the world, but yeah, if you are in the area, it's going to be a good time, and good, fun, emo dance party, irreverence, making dark humor, and celebrating life together, and playing some sweet, nostalgic angst jams, bro. So there's that, and I am coming up on my destination. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting. Join the Downers Club, patreon.com/thesystemsdown. Get in there and let's have some fun. Keep this thing going. This is not my turn. Why am I turning here? All right. Thanks. I love you. Question everything. Stay uncomfortable. We'll talk to you next time. Probably no outro. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.